Hello, everyone. This is Rick with the Cyber Pro podcast. We have a special edition episode today. We're going to be focusing on walking you through a really cool new solution, OnCall Cyber. And with us today, we have the co-founder, Jim Hideman. Jim, thank you so much for being on the podcast today.
Yeah, thanks so much, Rick, for having me. It's an honor and humbling to be a part of this great podcast that you have going. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, Jim, let's get right to it. Let's start by having you give us an overview of OnCall Cyber and the problem that OnCall is aiming to solve in our market today.
Yeah, it's a good question. A lot of people ask that question, and it's really the best way to describe it is we're a 24/7 cyber crisis team. And so we approach the small to mid-market businesses to help them prepare when their breach happens. And I don't say when a breach happens, it's when their breach happens, because that's what's happening in business right now. So what we're concerned about is the increasing of the quantity and the severity of cyber attacks. And really they're going down market more so now than ever before. Used to be they just focused on the higher end businesses, but now they're going down market. So cybersecurity compliance is huge. Breach investigations, this is really interesting that the findings that they can uncover can actually be used as evidence in a trial. And so that also includes the source of human error. And so when you include that, that's something to be concerned about, is how you deal with the human aspect of that. It's also becoming difficult to obtain cybersecurity insurance. And so a lot of companies think that that's the easy button and that will avoid a lot of the attacks that they're getting, and they'll be able to cash that check. But the reality is, if you don't have the controls in place, you're not going to qualify for that insurance. And so we built a really comprehensive solution, and we've bundled it into a subscription combining incident response, cyber insurance, and the cyber law counsel, again, all into a single pane of a subscription model, quite frankly.
Jim, that's amazing. And I want to know, what made you guys create this cyber crisis team, right? Cyber law, incident response, cyber insurance kind of subscription model. What was the brainchild and why did it come forth?
It's a great question. And the best I can say is it's kind of like peanut butter and chocolate coming together. When I tell you this story, it is like a peanut butter cup. So I've been attending a cybersecurity meetup now for about 4.5 years in Colorado Springs. We're getting a great response, about 125, 150 people attend that. And it's mostly technology based. Again, it's cybersecurity. And most people think that that's technology products. And so I was at the meeting, at the event, and they had a speaker. It's Doug DePep, that's now my business associate, but he's an attorney. And so I was curious, by all means, to understand why an attorney is speaking at a technology event. And when he started to talk about cyber gaps and breach coaching and the things that happen immediately after attack that you need to be prepared for, it occurred to me, it was a major aha moment, that cyber law has a place to fit in the technology stack that we're doing with the products and services that we're selling in cybersecurity. And so we got to talking after the meeting, and we put some things together. We became friends, fast friends, and then associates when we decided to bundle that together. It's a huge missing piece in the market, or huge missing service in the market. And by bundling those two together, it really makes sense. And one of the best things that I gathered out of this is that as a technology advisor, I've spent a lot of time trying to find that foot in the door, to reach out to clients, to get some type of an angle in to talk to the C-levels. And this became it. So it's been very easy to have a conversation about your general counsel, and are they prepared to handle a breach? How many breaches have they done? And if they're not, you better figure that out. And so that's why we created the subscription model, OnCall Cyber.
Love it. You've kind of already talked about it, but what sets OnCall Cyber apart from competitors in the industry, and what's your unique kind of proposition in the market?
That's another good question. And to be blunt, I don't really think we have competitors. I've been to a lot of teaching, training, events, summits, workshops, and everybody that, when I explain this product to them, when I explain what we're doing to them, they're blown away by it and really think it's brilliant. And so, every company has competitors, but I think because we silo the different aspects of cyber insurance, cyber law, and incident response into one subscription, it's definitely different and unique. But what we also have learned is that business leaders, most of them have not experienced a breach before. They've heard about it, they know it's going to happen to them, but they don't understand the ins and outs of that and how to react when that does happen. So what they don't realize is the very first thing you should do is call your attorney. And if you don't have an attorney, if you don't have an incident response team that is tied to that attorney and has a relationship there and contracts already pre-built, then you're at a very big disadvantage. Time is of the essence. And to be able to have that cone of silence that comes down as soon as a breach happens is very important. A lot of people think they call the insurance company, and that's the last person you'd want to call when you're breached. And I like to say, in regards to a unique product offering, it's kind of like a AAA insurance for your car. So imagine, Rick, if you're going on a road trip with your family and you're in the middle of New Mexico at night and your car stops working, whether it's a flat tire or something with the engine, and you break down in the middle of New Mexico, what are you going to do? The things that I'm thinking of is I don't want Mad Max and his band of yahoos to come down the road and do something malicious to my family. And so I pick up the phone, my cell phone, and call AAA. And within, 20, 30 minutes, hopefully, they're there at my disposal to be able to help fix my car, give me a tow in, and be a friend on that drive to the mechanic shop. So that's really how we look at OnCall Cyber, is that these businesses are concerned if they're going to be in business in a week, a month, a year. And so having that prearranged cyber preparedness, what we call on guard, on demand in a time of crisis, not only you don't have the time, but you also don't have the team. But with OnCall Cyber, it's already prepared. You've got it right there for you.
So we know that the market is constantly evolving, especially in cybersecurity law, compliance, those type of things. How is OnCall Cyber evolving with it and ultimately helping your customers prepare for that evolution that they have to be involved in?
Yeah. Most technology professionals right now think that cybersecurity is an a la carte thing, that you have to have a SIM, you've got to have your DDoS, you have to have next gen firewalls, endpoint detection. There's all these products and services, and that's certainly important. But I think the cost of doing it that way is too high. And because cyber attacks are going down market, that's very challenging. So we are able to vertically integrate that into three posts of a stool, if you will, and with, again, the incident response, the cyber insurance, and the cyber law, bundling that all into a subscription. And so we can help with the controls and all the check marks and the things that you go through the questionnaire. But in order to, so we can help you with all the controls, the check marks of the questionnaire, and that will improve your odds of obtaining an insurance policy. And worst case scenario, it prepares you in the event that you have attack. You might not have the insurance, but it at least prepares you. And so, like my mom always said, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
How does OnCall Cyber add that additional layer of protection, whether it be legal or incident response, to a customer's cybersecurity posture?
There's essentially three things. So early attorney-client relationship pre-incident is critical. So it's too late if you've already had an incident and you're trying to round up an attorney. It's really too late. Knowing your business and your architecture and your incident response plan is critical. I think we came up with our name mainly because it's on call. And to have that speed dial where you can pick up the phone, you've had something go wrong, go south with your company, pick up the phone and give us a call when you do have that incident. And I think the most important thing that is a result of that is the amount of time you can save in that crisis. Time is critical. And the ability to pivot into a defensive posture when you have an attack and have a speed dial where you've got your team on call, you've got an attorney that talks to your team, which would include an incident response company. It's already pre-developed. It's already pre-planned. Everything is ready to go when that happens. That time that you save could be the difference between staying in business tomorrow and actually shutting your doors. So I think it's very important to understand those three things. And we're trying to be evangelists when it comes to that, because people don't understand the importance of having that prepared team.
Jim, I love what you're doing in the market. We appreciate what OnCall Cyber is offering as a cool new solution. And so thank you so much for being on the Cyber Pro podcast.
Absolutely, Rick. It's been a pleasure, and I wish you all the best luck. Thank you very much for giving us a platform to explain this, because it's very important. We're passionate about it. We love what we do, and we're out there to help people defend the bad guys. Thanks for having me.